Welcome back, Piper Builder here. I guess the moment of truth, did we get our gear straight? Did I do my job building a nice jig, or is it, really crooked? So I guess we'll see in a second. It bolted up. I didn't have to ream anything out, didn't have to beat any bolts through the pickup points on the fuselage, so that was encouraging. So first things first is just get everything level. So the fuselage has been leveled. I put a plumb bob there so I can find center. So that way we can measure it. Besides just being level, we can make sure that it's nice and square. The project wouldn't be complete if I didn't do something somewhat sketchy, but I don't plan on beating and banging on the airplane. I just plan on measuring, so I'd like to think this is going to stay put and the airplane's not going to fall off of my rigging back here. Check out Dan's T3 tail wheel. Check him out, Dan Default. Nice setup for the money. And Matco Billet Series tail wheel. I went with the 10-inch, but I think it's all pretty nice stuff. I think it's what I'm looking for to get going at least. So let's take a look at what the goal is here, guys. So again, the gear is in, and what I've done is I've leveled it, okay? So I have leveled the landing gear and put it on some blocks. I like little bubble levels, but I also put a digital level on there. It's perfectly at 0. And then what I did was I made a really straight and really square jig here, and that's going to sit on this axle, which is machined, right? So it goes up, it butts against the end, it goes on there, and then now I can check toe in and toe out very accurately, and I put some slots in the end of it there. That way I can run a tape measure through there, because oftentimes in my shop, I'm a one-man band, so when I run the tape measure across, I don't have to have somebody holding it. So as we come over on this side, you can see that again, I've got it leveled, I've got it shimmed up. So the next moment of truth is to put my jigs on there, pull some tape measures, and just see where we are. Stand by. Okay, the moment of truth. I haven't looked yet. I'm scared. Plumb bob is hanging in the center. I've got my mark there. I lowered the plumb bob down. I've actually raised it up so you could see the mark. We are leveled here. As you can see, it's kind of hard to get that level to show up, but it's dead in the middle. And then let's check this side over here. It doesn't show up good on camera for some reason, but it's dead in the middle there. So we are square, we are level. The fuselage is sitting dead level there. So I feel good. Let's go ahead and measure it, and let's just see what we get here. So this will be on the back side of the gear. And I'm going to use the outside of the square. And man, that looks to me like that is dead on 92.5. Let's go with 92.5. So we'll write that down. I knew it was 92-ish, but I didn't know it was going to be that precise. So there's 92.5. Let's see what we get on the front side. Stand by. All right, I guess the moment I've been waiting for. I'm kind of eager, and I'm also a little bit nervous about this. Shelby's not nervous at all. I've got it all ready, and we're going to find our number. Remember, we were 92.5 wheel stance across the back. And let's see where we are here. I'd like to be inside of 1/8 of an inch. Honestly, if it was straight up, I'd be happy with that. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. No way. No way. No way. Look at that. 92.5 straight up. I am living very happy with that number right there. That thing came out straight up. Man, I'm excited about that. I'm relieved all in one how everything came out. My jigs came out square. My gear came out square. The fuselage I'm working with is really square. But just to verify all that, I kept my plumb bob and I put a little tick mark on the concrete in my shop floor. In fact, I did about 10 of them throughout the aircraft. That way I can pull and triangulate any direction. Because the last thing I wanted was to have gear that was nice and square and a fuselage that's nice and square, and then the fuselage is riding crooked inside the gear. You see cars going down the highway that have had crashes and they put an alignment back on them, and it might very well be aligned correctly, but the chassis is riding crooked inside the suspension. So I verified a bunch of different directions there and triangulated that, and I'm just really happy everything came out square. So I think it's time to finish weld this and move on to the Cabane V brackets, which get welded into the fuselage on these lower longerons right there by the attach points for the front part of the gear. So these little plates will go in. I'll need to fabricate them. I'll need to weld them in there. And then now the cabane V, which is going to be under the belly of the aircraft, has got somewhere to sit. So it's going to go like so. And then I'm going to go with a modern suspension, shock style, nitrogen filled, like Acme Aero, hint, hint. Maybe those guys will feel sorry for me and hook me up with a little deal there. But it's going to be like this. This shock is off my dirt late model that I raced back here. But this would go down to that axle on that side. And then this shock over here would go down to the axle that's sitting below me. So that's the setup, and that's what we're going to go with. And we're not far from having the airplane on actual gear. And then we can move forward with the motor mount. So stay tuned, and I appreciate everybody tuning in. So be sure to like, subscribe to my channel.